Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I know it's super duper late, but I wanted to show y'all some stuff that I was working on. Okay, so on LinkedIn, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see that I just posted something. I've been working on it for like 2 months, and it's a list of Black, Indigenous people of color and women who are like unsung heroes. You know, people who have pioneered in thought leadership, technology, all of different kinds of professions and stuff, but are not very well known because of reasons, including the dominant culture and all that stuff. Okay, so as part of that list, in all the research that I did, there were several people on there who contributed to technology, and I wanted to share that with you all today. And after I do that, I want to talk about um, a revamped NIST framework. Okay, so the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, they have a framework that it's really good. I love it. It's absolutely amazing. But I want to show y'all how I've revised it. Okay, so first of all, let's get to these people, these unknown people. And I say unknown because I didn't know. I didn't know a lot of them. So, and I think it's important that we see, the people who actually contributed something to technology and cybersecurity and all that stuff, and because they don't all look alike. They don't all look like Kevin Mitnick. Okay. Okay. So this first person, his name is Dr. Philip Imagwali. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that, but he invented the world's fastest computer. All right. I had never heard of this man until like last week or something. Okay. And for him having done something so significant, that's a damn shame. All right. So his computers are currently being used to forecast the weather and to predict the likelihood and effects of future global warming. Now, I have all of this stuff. Go to my LinkedIn page and I have a whole list of all that, and you can read all this stuff on your own. But I just wanted to highlight some of these things. Okay. So he's an inventor. I think he's from Nigeria. Yep, from Nigeria, born in 1954. Ada Lovelace, born in 1815. She was a mathematician and writer. She's widely regarded as the first to recognize the full potential of computers and one of the first computer programmers. Okay, born in 1815. Miss Ada Lovelace. And this young lady is Maria Agnes, born in 1718. She was a mathematician, philosopher, theologian, and humanitarian. She made mathematical contributions that are currently used in machine learning and artificial intelligence today. Okay? This was back in the 1700s. Did y'all know this lady? Okay. She's very interesting. Sherry Turkle. So she's a professor of science and technology at MIT. She has a PhD in sociology and personality psychology. She's written books on psychology of human relationships with technology. Very, very interesting stuff. I follow her on Twitter, and she's a very amazing person. Amazing person. This guy, all gamers might know him. An electronic engineer, created the first home video game system that used interchangeable cartridges. All right. Dr. Eric J. Huffman, I am friends with him on LinkedIn. If you haven't seen his TED Talk, please go watch it, okay? It is so good. You gotta watch it. He's a cybersecurity professional, educator, and entrepreneur, a founding researcher in the emerging field of cyber psychology, which I am super duper interested in, okay? Amazing, amazing TED Talk. Really great guy. All right, so those are some of the people. Like I say, go to my LinkedIn page. I have an article where I talk about other, little known people, and that have done absolutely amazing things, and so go ahead and read that. So next, I want to talk to you about redoing the NICE framework. Well, not redoing it. I just added some stuff to it, okay? Because it's an amazing framework already. So I just found this. This is the cyber tracking. This is a 5-level model of behavior in cyberspace. Okay, behavior in cyberspace. So here you have internet use. So that's just the regular everyday stuff that people do. Okay, and now and here these 4 circles: misuse, offensive use, cybercrime, and cyber terrorism, are the shit people doing that they really don't need to be doing, basically. Okay. So, but this part here, internet use, that's a huge part, right? And this line, I think they should have like erased that line, because I think internet use, like there's so much shit going on out there, right? And I kind of, I compare it to space exploration, like outer space, astronauts and all that stuff. So I think space exploration, and if we look at cyberspace as a place to explore as well, that'll help us get more into this internet use place right here. Because, cybersecurity, we're all about this right here, these tight circles, right here, stuff people doing that they ain't got no business doing, all right? But I think, well, if you looked at my talk on human rights, that, we're talking about all of this, not just the stuff people doing that they ain't got no business doing. Okay. Now, if you go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and you look at space explorers, like people who work in space exploration, you'll see 3 main categories. You see scientists, engineers, and technicians. All right. And I just took a really quick screenshot off of the Bureau of Labor Statistics site. So the scientists now, so include astronomers, atmospheric and space scientists, physicists, engineers, all kind of engineers, of course, including computer hardware engineers. Okay, technicians, a bunch of stuff there too. See, media and communications, that was interesting. Photographers, right? They have their technical writers and all that. Okay, so these are the people. This is the team that's needed to explore, out there in Mars and all that stuff. Okay, and I actually talked to a lady who is training right now to go to Mars on the Mars 1 expedition. Okay, they were supposed to leave a while ago, but they ran out of money. But I actually talked to her and we emailed. It was a very interesting conversation. The intent is for them to go to Mars and not come back. Okay, so she and her team are actually training to do that. It's super interesting. All right, so this is a nice framework. I know y'all have seen this before. If you haven't, go look at it, okay, because this thing is really, really good. So these are the general categories of the professions in cybersecurity, okay? The things you need to train for, the kinds of jobs you can get, analyze. This is your job title would be like target developer, threat warning analyst, exploitation analyst, collect and operate. You'd be a cyber ops planner or cyber operator. Now this is all online, okay, and a whole bunch of other stuff. If you investigate, you'll be a cyber crime investigator, law enforcement, operate and maintain. You're a data analyst. You're a knowledge manager. You're a systems administrator, oversee and govern. You're going to be, and this is where I am. This is where I work in the profession. You're going to be a cyber instructor, a curriculum developer. You're going to work cyber policy and strategy. Okay, protect and defend. This is what a lot of us are familiar with: cyber defense analysts, vulnerability assessment analysts, security provision, security architect. Okay, so according to NIST, they've created this, this nice framework for all of us who are looking to get into cybersecurity. So we look at this, we see what kind of certifications we need for these various things and all that. Okay. Now, what you will notice, which is what I talked about in my last video about cybersecurity and human rights, is all this stuff is about systems and the data in those systems. It's about protecting that, okay, for the business. So according to Cheryl, which is me, I feel like we have to consider the person as well, okay? Now, information system has a very specific definition, and NIST has come out with an amazing dictionary, and they just published it this year, okay? It has all the cyber definitions you can ever think of, okay? So if you have not seen that NIST dictionary, it's online, it's amazing, okay? It's really, really good, but they don't define system like this, okay? This is the definition of system that I use when I worked in training and evaluation, okay, particularly evaluation. So a system is a collection of entities seen by someone as working together to produce something, okay? And that includes the person. It's not just systems and data working together to produce something, okay? You got people up in there, all right? At every level of the OSI model, you got people, okay? So with that in mind, so this is what we just went over, the NIST framework, all these. Now, this is what I think needs to be added, okay? Because this is centered on systems and data. What I've included here is centered on people, the knowledge they hold, and their freedom to control it, okay? So it's centered on you, the knowledge you hold, and the freedom you have to control that knowledge and information that you create, okay? So create is one. So that means you would hire, or the job title for someone who is a creator would be an animator or an illustrator, a graphic designer, a UX designer, a musician, or an artist. So let me tell you something, right? In cybersecurity is a what do they call it? Like, I mean, cyberspace is like a notional environment, is what they say. Okay, like it's not really real. You can't go to cyberspace. You can't pack your bags and take a vacation to cyberspace. All right, you just can't do that. One definition I saw that I really like is that they called it what is it called? I think I read a consensual hallucination. Okay. Cyberspace is a consensual hallucination. Now, if you don't know what that is, you do it every day. All right. Every time. So today I was watching Endgame. Okay. And I hate the part when I hope. So for those of y'all who haven't seen Endgame, this is a spoiler alert. So cover your ears or whatever. Okay. I do not like the part when Iron Man snaps and he dies. Okay. That gets me every time. All right. So what a consensual hallucination is, and you watch it every single time you watch a TV show and you have some emotion, you get mad or happy or you cry at something, because what it is you are deliberately suspending your beliefs, okay? You're deliberately suspending what you know to be true so that you can get something out of the movie. So I know that, first of all, there's no Iron Man is not real, okay? Robert Downey Jr. is just fine. He did not die, okay? However, in that movie, I get upset. Like I start tearing up, even though I know in reality, this is not true, right? That's a consensual hallucination. I'm giving my consent, okay, to believe what is not true. You see what I'm saying? I have to do that so that I can enjoy the movie. You would hate it when somebody's in the movie telling you what's obvious. Oh, that's not real blood. They're not. It's like, get the hell out of here. We know that. I'm trying to enjoy this movie, right? So cyberspace is like that, a consensual hallucination. There's no a place that you can go to, called cyberspace, right? But we suspend our knowledge of that so that we can, move forward with using it and all that. Okay. So these are the things. So you need it in that kind of environment. It's hard to explain stuff. At least that's what I've found, in the places that I've worked. People just writing stuff down is not useful for everybody. Okay, you have to draw pictures. You have to, give metaphor. Like you have to be creative to explain to somebody what a cloud environment is. Okay, don't just go to Google and look at the damn definition. That's not going to work for everybody, including me. Okay, I need to know, because it's not somewhere I can go and touch. I can't touch, everything, in cyberspace, right? So somebody needs to be creative enough to come up with something so that different audiences can understand what you're talking about. Okay. And I'm in policy, so that's very, very important. All right. Explore, right? If you think of space, you want to be able to explore to see what's there. right? And the people with these skills are people like anthropologists, marine biologists, paleontologists. Now, am I saying go out there and advertise and say, okay, we want to hire a spelunker, which is somebody who explores caves, right? We want to hire a spelunker to come and work in our cybersecurity office. Is that what I'm saying? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying. You may want them to get a security plus or whatever before they come, but yeah, you need somebody with those skills. Okay, appraise. So there's an amazing book called Infonomics. All right, and it's about actually looking at the information and the knowledge in your organization and putting a dollar sign on it, right? Actually saying, what is the mission critical knowledge in this organization and how much is it worth? Okay, and that's what we want to concentrate on, right? That's what we want to preserve. That's really what we want to protect. It's not just PII, okay? It's not just privacy data. That's not, no. We're talking about the mission critical knowledge, the stuff that's going to help this organization survive, thrive, and flourish and grow. Okay, so an appraiser, somebody with those kinds of skills who can look at all this information, knowledge, and data and appraise it, right? These kinds of people are like mortgage lenders, program evaluators, okay, tax assessors, and jewelers. You know, jewelers do appraisal. Hey, Keep It Techie, how are you? Yes, visual aid is extremely important, and everybody can't do it, okay? People think that when you say something, you know, you just get, people just get it. No, they don't. You know, they need pictures and sound and all that stuff. Okay, mediate is another one. Because we're talking about people, okay, you know, if you're working right now, or if you've ever worked before, you know for a fact that just having technical skill is not useful, you know, when you're dealing with difficult people. When you're trying to work with difficult people, you're trying to get something done, okay? And this person's personality is just getting in the way, and you know, you got different, if you've ever taken the Myers-Briggs test, you know, people, we just have different personalities. You have to be able to know how to work with that, okay? There's going to be conflict, okay? And people with mediation skills, like social workers, which I am, I'm a social worker as well, clergy, judges, animal trainers, parents, okay? You need people with those kinds of skills who can say, listen, okay, you know, we have this stuff going on, but we need to get to this goal. Now, how can we make that happen, okay? Everybody's not a mediator, okay? Everybody doesn't have that kind of patience, right, to be a mediator. So you need somebody with those skills. Tolerate ambiguity. Sometimes uncertainty is just gonna be there, but you can't stop. Okay, you can't stop. You have to be able to move forward, you know, towards the goal. And the kinds of people who can do this are project managers, okay, sociologists, educators, linguists, okay. These are the kinds of people who can take uncertainty, all right, and still be able to, you know, manipulate and massage things and get to the next step. You know, they don't let ambiguity stop them from doing what they need and what they want to do. Genuinely question. I say genuinely because many of us ask questions but already have the answer in our mind, right? Like when you ask your girl or your dude, you know, who you talking to, who you was on the phone with, and you already checked the phone. You know exactly who they were talking to. That's not a genuine question, right? You're just trying to trap somebody into something. A genuine question is like, you know, I really want to know this thing. I have no preconceived notions, no nothing. You know, I'm gonna shut up and listen and wait for an answer because I don't have one. Okay, these kinds of people, attorneys, reporters are really, really good with asking genuine questions, like really trying to find out. Cryptozoology. If you've never heard of cryptozoology, cryptozoology is the study of cryptids, okay? A cryptid is an animal that does not exist, okay? Or that does not exist yet, okay? That's why you got cryptozoologists to see if they in fact do exist. So one cryptid that you're very familiar with is Bigfoot. Bigfoot is a cryptid. The Loch Ness Monster is a cryptid, okay? What is that? What is that? The Mexican, is it the chupacabra? I think it's called the chupacabra. That's a cryptid, okay? So just you can go look that up, right? Different kinds of cryptids. You know what's interesting though is that kangaroos used to be cryptids. Kangaroos were like the Loch Ness Monster, right? Because they were like animals that, you know, carried their babies in a I mean, the description of it was like weird, okay? So, but you know, people found out that these animals actually do exist. Okay, so they're not cryptids anymore. Okay, cryptozoologists are very, very good questioners, and children. You know, kids ask questions like, and I'm not saying go hire a child. You know, we're not promoting child labor or anything like that, but yeah. So those are genuinely questions. Now, the last one is to tell stories. The DoD, the Department of Defense, has an amazing study on storytelling. I would never have thought that the Department of Defense would have something like this. I have never seen such an amazing process and presentation than these individuals who did it for DoD. Now I forget why DoD wanted to pay money to have that research done, but man, I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. So telling stories is important because, you know, people listen to good storyteller, and not only do they listen, they actually do something, you know, as a result of that amazing storytelling. You know what I mean? Good storytelling inspires people to act, right? It's not just sitting up there, you know, telling a story, you know, and nobody does anything, you know, afterwards. Good storytelling inspires people to act, and this is what you're going to need when you when you center cybersecurity on human rights, right? Because human rights puts accountability back on you, the human, okay, to, you know, to take accountability and control and make decisions and stuff like that. All right. So you need a really good storyteller in your, you know, on your cybersecurity team to be able to, and not, this is not just for the users now, because remember in the last video, I said one of the things that we need to stop saying is that users are the weakest link. That is a damn lie. I said humans are the weakest link. So wherever you have a human, okay, and think of the OSI model, on all them layers, you got humans doing some stuff, okay, from programmers to administrators and, you know, coders, all that stuff, right? Anywhere you have a heartbeat, you have the potential for a vulnerability. All right. So good storytellers, you know, will help people, humans at every level, to, you know, inspire them to do things, you know, that will, you know, like I said in the video, help decrease the chance of vulnerabilities. These kinds of people, good storytellers, are public speakers, they're authors, they're diplomats, you know, politicians spin some stories and they inspire people to act. Okay, think about the politicians we got in our faces right now and what they're saying, the stories they're telling, and what people are doing, you know, as a result of their amazing storytelling. All right. And social media influencers, right? I follow several people on social media, and I have been, you know, inspired to do certain things, you know, because these people are awesome storytellers. Okay. So these are my recommended additions to what NIST has already come up with, which is awesome, right? But if we're looking more broadly than just those 4 circles that I showed you about, you know, criminality, right? And looking at all of the internet, like everything, okay? And us as cyber professionals being responsible for you know, protecting that and protecting people's rights and stopping, you know, those who just happen to have more power, you know, from trampling all over those rights, you know, which is what I think our responsibility is. It should be a lot broader than it is right now. Then these are the other things that we need to bring to the cybersecurity conversation, bring to the table, bring to the decision making, you know, with the ideas and all that stuff. These are some of the other things. Now, that doesn't mean that the people like target developers, like cyber defense forensic analysts, we can, you know, request in job announcements and stuff that they actually have these skills, okay? That they actually have this kind of stuff, you know? And, you know, so that's killing two birds with one stone. They got this technical stuff, but they also got this, I hate calling it soft, because it's not soft skills. It's like, it's not, right? And I think, what's that dude's name? I forget his name, but he's a very famous person in management and stuff. But he doesn't call them soft skills. He calls them real skills, okay? Real skills. Interpersonal skills, knowing how to deal with people, right, is a very real thing, and ain't nothing soft about it, okay? So, all right, so that's all I have for today. I had some other stuff, but I was like, you know, it's late. It's like 12:30 here where I am. I'm just like a solid gold dancer because I was supposed to go somewhere, but we decided not to. So I was like, okay, let me make a video, you know, before I go to bed. So here I am. All right, so I hope that was useful for you guys. Again, I'm on LinkedIn, and you can go and see the entire list of people that I researched. I spent like 50 hours doing that research, so so go and look at it, okay? I'm really proud of it. I'm not done. I wanted to find 100 people. It took me 50 hours to do 49 people, okay? Because, you know, people of color and you know, women, they're hard to find, you know, when it comes to them being pioneers, and so because all we hear is like the more dominant, you know, patriarchal type thing, right? So so go look at that list. Again, you know, consider what I talked about here. I'm going to come up with some other stuff to do it in a lot more detail, to map to the NIST framework. But that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for being here so late, wherever you are. So have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye.